All right, this is interesting, and it's a conversation a lot of couples avoid, and it can quietly end more relationships than people realize. It's not cheating or even arguing. It's actually financial infidelity, from hidden purchases to secret debt. So Drew is here. He's the managing director of Wilde Wealth Management Group to talk more about these money secrets that can really damage trust. So financial infidelity, what exactly does that mean?
Well, thank you for having me. It's good to be here. Financial infidelity kind of means it's, one of the partners is either hiding, misrepresenting, or avoiding talking about what they've been doing on the side, financially, spending habits.
Even avoiding the conversation, like they don't even want to address it.
Yeah, I think sometimes people get maybe embarrassed or ashamed of what they're spending money on, and they don't necessarily want to tell the other spouse or partner what they're doing.
Okay, so right, because it could be a little bit shady, right? You're feeling like, why are you not being so forthcoming? We should have trust here. So what are some of those signs we should look for with financial infidelity?
Yeah, sometimes missing statements that come in. A lot of it could be a gambling debt that they don't want to talk about, and they're ashamed of it.
With so many sports books now, too.
Exactly.
Very true.
And, some online shopping. You might get a lot of stuff in the mail that you weren't aware of. And, all those kind of things add up, and they do kind of fray the bond that holds all relationships together, which number one is trust.
Yeah. So I just saw on there, it said one of the signs was changing financial behavior. So right there, changes in your financial behavior. What could that mean?
Well, that would mean, part of it would be you have a budget that you've maybe sat down with your partner or spouse and kind of gone over it. And then next thing you know, that budget's sort of out the window and you've changed things, right? You've gone and you've done things behind the other person's back. And as I said, either sort of online shopping or you've been out to the casinos, or you're doing things you probably shouldn't be doing and you're too afraid or too ashamed to discuss it with your spouse or partner. That obviously is a big change.
It's a big change. It's not always intentional, is it?
No, I think by far people try to do things for the good.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gets a little bit out of control and they get to the point where it's past that and they don't know how to unwind it.
Well, I think a lot of this, we talk about going back to trust and then communication, being honest, being on the same page. You talked about avoiding the conversations. What is it that is so hard for couples to talk about money? It's one thing to talk to your coworker about your financial situation, but to talk to your partner, that still could be a struggle.
Yeah, and that's interesting. A lot of people do struggle with that. In fact, finances is like 30% of all divorces come from financial problems. Yeah. Which if you just sat down together and kind of went over it, and if you develop a budget, especially during the holidays or some Valentine's Day's coming up and some of the things that people maybe overspend on, but kind of what's done is done. So figure out what you can do moving forward, and don't be ashamed of what you've done, but figure out how to fix it.
Yeah, and I don't want to put my psychology hat on, or no relationship expert here, but probably for the other partner, not bringing it up and putting it in, or reminding them of some bad behavior that they had. It might be best to try and move forward in the best way on the same page.
Yeah, you don't want to make someone feel ashamed of what they've done, and I think that's probably the root of some of the problems. But I think once you address the problems that you may be having and you open it up and are fully transparent, you can solve the problems.
All right, so Drew, we're out of time here. What's the last thing you think we should know about financial infidelity?
Make sure you're always communicating with your spouse or partner, and be transparent on your expenses.
Transparent. Oh, that means no more hiding those Amazon purchases, no more hiding those, sports betting that you're doing. Just, get on the same page and move forward, right?
Exactly.
Best thing. All right, Drew, Managing Director of Wilde Wealth Management Group, thank you so much.